It is Sunday the 23rd of June 2019 in the kitchen, and last night we went through one of our 4 freezers. Now we've got 3 large freezers and 1 small one, and we want to basically close down the small one so that it's not using up electricity, and we have taken a whole lot of stuff out of it, which I'm going to go through now. So we've got in here a couple of pheasants, so we're going to have them pot roasted tonight. Because one of us is a vegetarian, then tonight's dinner is going to be, for the veggie side, a bean loaf. So these broad beans came out of the freezer as well. We've got a tub of chopped apple, which will be used for jam making. Grapefruit skins. Now, obviously, we don't grow our own grapefruit, but David gets grapefruit for breakfast, and we use the skins for making marmalade, so they don't get wasted, they just go into the freezer. And then we have 4 bags of rhubarb, and that will be used for making jam. One of the jams I'm going to try and do today is gooseberry and rhubarb, but I've got to go out and pick the gooseberries. So grapefruit marmalade with a bit of lemon added in, now brewing away quite nicely in the preserving pan. Right, in this pan we have the 2 pheasants now, and they are going to be pot roasted, and we are using some of the beer that we made a couple of years ago to pot roast them in. It's beer that's gone flat, but we still need to use it up. This is a plot on the very edge of the Winnie's community garden, and in fact it's not accessible directly from the Winnie's garden, but is actually on the public footpath next to it. And as you can see, it is very heavily overgrown. We actually call this site the mill plot. David and I do. Nobody else does, but David and I do. On the sort of slightly spurious grounds that back in the medieval period, if there had been a water mill built in this area, then this site would have actually been the logical place to put it, because it's at the confluence of 2 streams. This area here has at some point been quarried out, so the ground level has been brought down much lower. And it would have been ideal for a mill to have been built here. There's absolutely no evidence at all to suggest that there has been a mill here, but just with my historian's hat on, this would have been the logical place to build it. So that's why we call it the mill plot. Now, this plot, because it's overgrown, it actually gets overgrown with some really useful plants, mainly nettles and willow herb. So we've started to, in the past week, to come onto this site to start to clear it. The reason being is that 3 barrow loads of grass and weeds and so on we take back to the goats. But one of the other reasons why we've started to clear this site is to be able to give us access to these fantastic gooseberry bushes which are heaving with fruit. So today, as well as getting the feed for the goats, I'm going to get a bucket full of gooseberries, and they'll go back to the kitchen, and some of those will be used to make the gooseberry and rhubarb jam with the rhubarb that came out of the freezer last night. Well, I've picked this lot. Still loads left on the bush, but I'm going to call it a day for picking the fruit, because I've got loads to do back home, and this is easily enough to get me through what I plan to use or to make tonight. So this is what I've just picked for the goats, so that's going back to the goat paddock now. It's now about 10:30 in the evening. We had the dinner, a very nice bit of pheasant, and I strained the grapefruit, But as you can see, it's still a liquid in a bowl, because not quite everything went according to plan today. So we didn't get the marmalade made because we suddenly realised that all the jars were over in my mother's garage. So I'll go and get them tomorrow morning, so that will be made then. And have a look at the pan with the gooseberries. Yep, gooseberries and rhubarb. Now, okay, the gooseberries were picked today, so that went according to plan. But we were hit by the same problem of the jars not being in the house. So that'll be made tomorrow as well. And I didn't get round to making the bean loaf either, because David found an alternative in the freezer. So that was a good way of creating some freezer space. But the bean loaf will be made tomorrow. I'll also strip the pheasant carcasses tomorrow, and we'll have the meat for dinner. On a brighter note, I got the whole of the goat house cleaned out today, because we are due for some heavy rain overnight and through tomorrow. So we know that the goats will be spending most of their time in the goat house, so I thought now's the opportunity to get it cleaned out before the rains come and they're all stuck in it. And because we're also getting the rain, I decided to get 2/3 of their feed sorted tonight. So I went off with the 2 wheelbarrows, fill them with the feed. Now normally I would just get 1 wheelbarrow in the evening ready for the next morning. So it's leaves such as grass, dandelion, dock, goosegrass, willow herb and so on. Loads of it growing around. So normally I just get 1 barrow on the night before and give it to them first thing in the morning. So today I've got 2, and they're both waiting outside the goat paddock for tomorrow. Now it really is expected to tip it down, so let's just hope I can get out at some point tomorrow to get their 3rd feed without getting a drenching.